asked a few minutes ago, where does it leave the manager? And it probably won't surprise either of you that in the comment section, he's taking an absolute pounding. And let me run through a few of these. This one says, Hanley, Christie, McLean, terrible. Clarke must go. A Beautiful Game simply says, Clarke out. This one from Richard Sproul says, time for a change. Clarke is way too negative and he plays his favourites who are dug meat. We can do better, in my opinion. Wilson says, anyone that thinks Clarke will qualify for the World Cup is beyond delusional. Tom simply says, taxi for Clarke. And look, basically that is the theme of the comment section, guys. I mean, how concerned should Steve Clarke be, really?
Sorry, I just missed the end of that because it cut out, but I think you said how concerned should Steve Clarke be. Is that what you said, yeah?
Aye, pretty much, aye.
Listen, Steve Clarke's just got to hope this is an outlier for the momentum that was building. It was just a bad night, but he'll have to come back and prove that it was just a bad night. I think we can all agree we had gathering momentum. You know, the 3 games prior to it were 3 good victories. We'd seen signs against some of the stronger teams that are moving in the right direction. As Scott alluded to, this felt like a real jar back the way. But it's up to him to go away and sort it. He needs to go away and fix it and come up with a plan that's going to work for us in the future, because it's probably in some ways, although not ideal, it is ideal that the opponents that dealt with us in that fashion tonight are in that group. In autumn, so you've got an instant chance to, right, you've seen them, you know what you need to do, you know what you need to try and find to combat this. You know, it's not like you're getting in against the same opposition. You know what they're going to do. You know how they picked you apart. So you need to come up with a system and a way to try and fix it. And I don't think on the back of what has happened prior to tonight in the past sort of 6 months, you know, with the results beforehand and then the win in Greece, I don't think there's any problem. You know, issues with Steve Clarke in terms of keeping his job or anything like that. But he's going to have to fix it because these qualifiers, the way the group that we're in with, you know, with just the small number of teams, it's rapid fire. September, October, November, bang, 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 3 months, and that's it. That's whether you're there or not. So we're going to have to find the answers, and he's got plenty of time to find them, and he's going to need to.
Right, Keith, and Hoopsaholic follows it up saying, unless we change Clarke now, the World Cup is not achievable. Now, personally, I don't agree with that at all. But what is your gut feeling? Do you think Clarke will get us to the World Cup? Will he do what Swanee says and go back to the drawing board and do what it takes to turn us around?
I don't think it's time to throw the baby out with the bathwater on this one. Right? And I don't think Steve Clarke will do that either. I think we're very disappointed with what he got from his players tonight. He might question his decision making in terms of the Greeks made 6 changes, he makes 1. They look fresher. We looked spent in the second half, but then that's when he's putting on fresh legs. And I thought we just got worse. We just looked like a mess the longer the game went on. And it was just like random substitutions that were getting made. So I think Steve Clarke can look at his own kind of decision making over the course of the last 4-5 days and maybe learn from it. I don't think that we look at this team now or this squad and say, this is hopeless, we're going nowhere. We've got a lot of really good players. The argument will be, is Steve Clarke the man to get the best out of them? And I think that he's got just about enough credit in the bank over the last time, given that he's qualified us for 2 tournaments. I think he's got it. I think it'd be crazy to even think, and the SFA won't, by the way. Just nail that one just now. I know there's going to be an angry reaction from the fans, but Steve Clarke was staying. Steve Clarke will get the World Cup campaign. However, if he starts off and you know, we get massacred like this, like we've done tonight against Greece, or whether it's Denmark or Portugal, then he'll have an issue. But I think he's done enough. He's got enough credit in the bank. The SFA like him. Why wouldn't they? So he'll start the campaign. But he needs to find a way of making sure that there's not a repeat performance of that anywhere in it, because as Swanee said, it's rapid.